What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Strasbourg Nation. Today we are back for just a regular old guitar pedal demo. Feels like it's been a hot minute since I did one of these. If you're confused why my last video was about me going on tour and this video is not about me going on tour, that's because the tour is technically still going on. We all work full-time jobs and shit. Anyway, that video will come eventually. Today we're checking out a sick pedal. Let's not fuck about. The Decay Cascade from Normal Devices. Now, I came across these guys maybe a couple months ago, and I reached out to them, was just like, hey, if you wanna, I'd love to check out the pedal if you want to send it my way, and thankfully they happily did. So this is technically a sponsored video, but you know the drill. Anything I say and do is of my own free will, god damn it. Anyway, this, if you're not aware, is like a drive reverb combination, and I'm a bit of a fan of this style of pedal to a certain degree. My kind of main interaction with this sort of thing is right over there. You can see the tides from non-human audio. Also, the dirge slowly melting is kind of in that same category, but it's more delay than reverb. But this kind of multi-tap belt and brick type vibe with a drive, a shoegazy post-rocky type thing, something I'm quite smitten with, if you could say. I'm struggling to find the words. I like the sort of thing, but it often comes with a few caveats, such as with the tides. I really like the tides, but I wish the drive and the reverb were on independent foot switches. And I think in my demo, which I did years ago, I said I kind of got on board. And I do get on board with it, and I do enjoy what it does, but a lot of the times I do wish they were separate. But I don't necessarily feel the same about this pedal. I feel like this pedal, the drive kind of circuit and the reverb circuits work so in tandem together, but are also really good individual. But I in the time I've had this and been playing with it, I never once wished, gee, I wish I could just turn the reverb on or just turn the drive on. If that feature were to be included, I would definitely not complain. But I feel like they work so in tandem and it's so intrinsically linked, the two sounds. Anyway, so let's get into some controls and some general discussion about what this thing does. So over here, these two knobs are going to be your main reverb controls. You have Decay Cascade, and the level, which is just the overall kind of wet-dry mix. It goes from pretty much dry to 100% wet. And then Decay goes from kind of short, repeaty type stuff all the way to really quite long ambient kind of stuff. Up here, you've got the mode selector. So you've got three different kind of echoes, if you will. Up the top, it's like a modulated hall, kind of dark and woozy. The middle, you've got my favorite setting, the spring, quite bright and lively spring, which I really enjoy. Down here, you've got a kind of echo thing. I'll say right off the bat, I'm not a huge fan of this third setting, the kind of echoey, weird echo thing. It's cool, and maybe you'll love it, but personally, it's not for me. I'm really just sticking on the first two. In the track, it's not in the track at all at the beginning of this video, that third mode. I just couldn't really find a spot where I enjoyed it. It's really just the main two. Anyway, so that's the reverb part of it. Then we have the drive section. So your main two controls are drive, obviously, which is just the amount of distortion, and the sag control, which kind of just takes you from like normal kind of stuff to like, it just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a thing in amps, but it just turns it into like a broken, dying battery kind of fuzz sound. You'll know it when you hear it. Once again, the sag's not really my thing in general, so I didn't use heaps of it. I'll use it in the playing segment, which Inside Baseball I've already filmed, but who cares? I'll show it off, but sag in general is not really my thing. I'm not a huge fan of that dying battery fuzz sound all the time. Most of the time, it's like a very specific thing if I'm going to use it, so I don't normally go for sounds like that, but it's a cool feature. And then we have the amp switch down here. So it's kind of like the amp is like right at the end of the signal chain and everything is fed through it. Also, important to note, the reverb is going into the drive with this pedal. But you have the amp, you have the tops of the switch. You have kind of the most natural, kind of clean version. In the middle, it's really quite high gain, but the middle one has got a kind of quite a aggressive low pass filter on it. Or is that high pass? I can never remember the terms. I have the manual right here. Low pass filter. So it lets the lows pass. It's quite dark. And then the bottom is the same, but without that filter. And there's kind of, these two amp sections kind of already have a bit of that gated thing going on the trails, but the actual sounds are quite aggressive. All these amp sounds, as far as drive go, and the drive sounds, really good. Like, I considered myself to be quite picky when it comes to drive pedals. There's a reason why I've stuck with like the EAE Halberd for so long, but the drive pedals in here are, the drive sounds in here are really good. And the reverb sounds are good, obviously. You have volume here for overall volume, and then you have the mix control. Now, I've left this one to last because it confuses me somewhat. I understand what it does, but I don't quite understand how it applies. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. Last night, once I had everything ready and I was planning on filming today, I thought, I'll check out a few demos, see what other people are saying about this pedal. And a few other people had noticed this as well. What this mix control does is it blends between your clean/reverb signal and the drive sound, but it doesn't affect the amp. I don't think it affects the amp. See, this is why I've got the manual up on my phone on their website. I'll just read you what it says. Create a layered mix of the original clean/reverb mix and the drive channel. So basically the idea is that when it's all the way here, all the way to the left, it's fully clean and reverb. And then as you turn it up, it blends in the drive, which may be the amps as well. Not 100% sure, because when you're on the second and third amp modes, the more aggressive one, the mix just kind of doesn't really do anything. Not that I found that to be a problem, but it kind of just, I saw somewhere, I think on Mark Johnston's video, the Decay Cascade themselves commented on it and just said that with the second 2 amp modes, it's so aggressive that it's just like, and it's right at the end, like everything gets fed through the amp. So it's just like aggressive and there's not really much to blend in between. I don't know. A bit confused about that one, but I found that this is a pedal that's just best when you just turn knobs and find sounds and fuck around and find out in a good way. Also, it looks great, doesn't it? I love the graphics and just the whole design aesthetic about it. I think it's sick. One other thing to note, it's quite loud. You've got a lot of volume on tap. So I'm going to give you a recommendation before we get into the playing, because it goes into how I'm running it. I think this pedal works best into an already driven signal. It's obviously meant to be a shoegazy type thing, but even if you go, I'm just going to use it for the reverb, right? I'll put it after my drives, and maybe you're using like a direct in solution like I'm doing here at home. You go, I'm going to put it after my drives and just use it as a clean reverb. Even with all that all the way down, there's still some coloring and some stuff going on. That might not be a problem for you, but I think if you want to use this pedal to its full potential, you want to put it in front of something that's already breaking up and already compressing a bit. For me, where I'm running it and where I'm running it for today's purposes is right in front of my Mother Pre from Science amps. And that's how I have it set on my board. It goes, all of my drive pedals go into this, then we hit this, then into the Mother Pre. So it's the last one. So I can use it in tandem with some other drives if I want. And I think that's where you get the best out of it, because you're already hitting something that's kind of breaking up a bit. So maybe put it before your last drive pedal if you run things like that. But, I would say experiment and see where it works best for you. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's get into some playing. We're going to be running through this bad boy, obviously. I'm going to be using my Squier J Mascis Jazzmaster into the Science Amps Mother Pre, into some Science Amps IRs. Just going straight into the computer. Yeah, let's hear it. All right, that's the video. What did you think? I like to give a little personal opinion at the end. I fucking love this thing. I know I say that about every pedal that I demo, and I mean it. And I'm trying to be honest when I come to demo stuff. And my honest opinion is that I think this thing is great. Is it the most versatile pedal? Is it going to be perfect for every situation? No. But it's a hell of a lot of fun. And since I got it, apart from when I was on tour, I didn't take it with me on tour because I kind of had my board pretty dialed in and it arrived a few days before I left. But I've put it on my board since, and I've been having so much fun playing with it. I can't wait to get into the jam room or at a next gig and really put it through its paces in a live setting. But yeah, I'm having so much fun with this thing. I think if you are looking for something to really shake up your sound, I think this would be such a cool pedal for you to get. I would also recommend, I haven't done this yet, and maybe I'll do it at the end of the video. Who knows? If you see it, you know I did it. I think this would be really cool to use with like a synth or something. But I don't know. Let me know what you think of the video. Please like and subscribe. If you have one of these, let me know. If you're going to get one, let me know. If I've changed your mind or convinced you to get one, let me know. Tell your mother you love her. Please have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Fuck off.